Is day 56 of cycling all of Italy. Started in Florence today and we're heading to one. So if you have social media, chances are you would have definitely seen one of those videos. Someone cycling from the UK to Australia, running the length of Africa, all that kind of stuff. It is a lot more popular nowadays because, you know, with social media, anyone can grow any kind of audience and potentially sustain a lifestyle like that. I'm not in a testament to that currently because like no one's really watching any of my stuff apart from my friends and my family, so thank you to them. But the thing is, if you look back at some older videos on YouTube and, you know, stories and news articles of people have been doing this for a while. You know, it's not new that people dislike what they're doing and go, you know, walking the length of the entire world kind of thing. I can't speak on, you know, the reasons for most people doing it, if it is, you know, they dislike their current lifestyle or they just love adventure. It could be both, it could be one. But for me, I'm guilty as well. I set out to cycle all of Italy, around the full country, all the regions. That is because I was working in London for around 6 years, like all in all. So around the 4 or 5 year mark, I was just like, this can't be it for like the rest of my life kind of thing. You know, because I look back at the time I spent there and there were, you know, many good times with friends and things. But it all kind of merged into one because every week just felt almost the same, you know, like Monday to Friday working, Saturday, Sunday was luckily free for me, but then, you know, Sunday's kind of corrupted by the thought of returning to work on Monday and then just repeat. So I got to that point, I was just thinking, how can I get out of it? And I wasn't the perfect example of someone who's, you know, made it successful, because there's many people who start a business on the side, go to their day job and then manage to make it work. I couldn't really figure something out because I wanted to still do my hobbies, learn Italian, go climbing, go to the gym, see friends. I wanted to build something as well, but that limited time, like, I just didn't have enough, and it was never going to work out if I didn't stick to one thing. If I spent like 4 years doing those things, I probably could have made something work, but doing it alone is so difficult because you don't know what you're doing, and you're trying to learn off other people without getting direct guidance. That doesn't always help. That's why people always stress the need of mentors. So long story short, I pretty much got to breaking point and I figured out something to do, because if you quit work and you don't have an idea of what you're doing, you're just gonna, I don't know, you could easily go in a downward spiral and kind of panic and then get another job. So with me, I kind of figured out something big enough to keep me busy for a while, you know, like cycling an entire country. I came around to cycling Italy because a few things. I'm a quarter Italian, and that leads into two things. I wanted to learn Italian because I didn't when I was younger, and I want to see more of my Italian family. I also had this dream of kind of buying a cabin and refurbishing it and having that, you know, as a place in Italy, because there are huge subsidies for people buying property in Italy and rejuvenating it and living there and, you know, like spending money in the local area. But the work you have to do, like, don't get me wrong, that stuff's probably incredibly intense. So I figured, you know, where would I buy it? I want to see the full country, so it's like I need to get around. I didn't want to drive, I didn't want to go by motorbike, I didn't want to, you know, go by a van. Even though those would be cool things to do, I wanted a challenge. I wanted something that would like be demanding. So I came around to the bicycle, and also because I wouldn't be earning money, so, you know, where would all that money go in petrol? So the bicycle was the best way to do it, and I just had to, you know, buy the gear. I spent quite a while researching because, you know, I didn't have just the money to start spending on all the top gear and stuff to kind of eradicate any kind of like malfunctions. So I did a lot of research and I got to the point where I had this huge list and it wasn't going anywhere because I wasn't buying stuff. So I was like, I just need to start clicking and buy, put in basket, just watching the money go away. And I got to the point where I pretty much had everything. So I had to quit my job. That was a bit tough. I remember on the day I was very nervous doing that because these guys are very kind to me, very knowledgeable, compensated me well, and I felt like I was letting them down. But with this stuff, it's like I was letting them down, but like you have to do it for you. Like sometimes you just have to do things for you, otherwise what's the whole point? Like, what does it matter if you don't do what you want? I left in August 24, and then I set out to cycle in September 24, just a month after. I spent some nice time with my family in between, which is good because when working a job, you only ever see your parents like, you know, for a weekend, you know, every couple of months at the holidays. And it's not really enough time when, you know, you're approaching those kind of ages in your life, and the time can kind of just fly by. So I cycled the north. It got cold. I planned it because I didn't want it to get too hot. I didn't want to be cycling like 35 degrees. So I went around when it was 20 degrees and it slowly dropped down. Got to about 5 and then, 0 to 5 degrees and it was very cold. And I had to split the journey into 2 because I didn't want to rush around the entire place and just zoom past every single town, not speak to anyone. Like, how would my Italian get any better? So took it slow and I have to do it in 2 parts. So I did the north, 61 days and just under 3,000 kilometers, and now I'm going to be going back to do the south in March 2025, and that's probably going to take me 2 to 3 months again. I did a daily video with the hopes of, kind of going viral with it, because I would love to sustain this lifestyle with, like brand deals and stuff like that for the gear I was using. That is very attractive to me at the moment, that kind of adventure lifestyle. I want to finish cycling Italy and I want to do Scotland, so I would love to be able to do a partnership with some kind of brands that I use in that trip. There's no point partnering with a brand you don't actually like unless you're really that hungry for money. But I got enough savings to get me through both of those trips, and then after that I'll probably have to think of getting a job. But yeah, that's down the line. I'm not really worried about that now, but I am doing things to kind of action it. Not really working out, but I'm confident, I'm optimistic it'll work out. So if you are thinking of doing something like this, and you feel how I described, you got to plan, you got to think about it. You can't just, come home, watch YouTube all day and never think about it if you dislike your current situation. You have to action it. To save a bit of money, have an actual plan of what you do when you leave, because you don't want a downward spiral into nothing. And then have a place to live as well, you can't be sleeping rough trying to follow your dreams. I mean, some people do, some people make it, but chances are you probably won't. And fair play to those that do. Yeah, I mean, you just got to do something about it. Otherwise, I knew I'd regret it if I never did this. If I got to that point of thinking, of having this full idea of something that would be so appealing to me, and I just put it on the side and never did it. Like, if I was 5 years older and I look back and I was just like, I could have done it then, but I can't do it now because mortgage, this, family, kids. And not saying that mortgaging kids is the end if you ever felt like that, but your priorities change, don't they? Your main kind of bet for bringing some kind of contentment with your life is spending the majority of your day doing something you enjoy. And the majority of your day is likely work, unless you were born into some super rich family and don't need to do it. Find something that you just enjoy for work, and try and make it work. It's more of a Hail Mary. If you can build it on the side and quit, then fair play, you smashed it. But if you can't do that, it's not the end of the world, but you have to take the risk. You have to kind of just jump at it. So I don't really know where I'm going to be in a year from now, but I will know that I've cycled Italy and I've cycled Scotland, so I'll be happy with that. And my Italian will pretty much, maybe, yeah, it'll be good. Sarò buono? So that's kind of my message, if you're seeing all these people do this kind of stuff and you enjoy it, you like the idea of it, just put a plan together and you can make it happen if you really wanted to. Hopefully it works out, but we'll see how it goes, and I'll catch you in the next video, whatever that might be. Ciao. Bam. We've done it. We're here in Italy. I hope you can see my head in this because it was cut off in the last one.